Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gaming by Geeks channel. My name is Adam and I'm back with something different. Today I'm going to try some form of challenge type thing. What I'm going to do is I've started off with a completely brand new map. As you can see, I've not touched it yet. I've literally pause it as well. We literally are 24 days into the map. What I want to do is find somewhere that looks good, so find an industry of some form, and I want that to be the only industry that I service. So find a steel mill or something, and just every single place on the map that could possibly service that steel mill has to come to that. So, you know, I mean, there's one that happens to be there that was roughly in the middle anyway. So if I was to choose that one, I'd have, you know, stations all around it, and every iron ore mine, scrap metal, coal mine, everything in the surrounding area of the whole map has to somehow get to there. That's the challenge. Doesn't have to be the steel industry though, so I'm gonna have a little look around. I want something that's gonna be fairly central, so I'm gonna zoom out. I'm gonna turn, I won't bother with industry, so I'll just leave it on here. So I want somewhere roughly in this view. It needs to be somewhere that's kind of open, ideally. You know, it makes things a bit easier, and obviously it has to be something that can receive. So it can't be a farm, for example, that would just output. So slap bang in the middle of that, we've got nothing. We've got a glassworks, which needs chemicals and sand. That's a possibility. We've got an iron ore mine, that's just an output. It's another iron ore mine that just looks a little different. Coal mine. There's a lot of iron ore mines around here. Jeez, there's loads. So maybe we just go with that. I mean, that's pretty in the middle, almost exactly in the middle actually, isn't it? Yeah, I'll take that. Let's go with this one. Let's go with the Windworth Glassworks. So that's the chosen location. All sand and chemicals from the entire map are coming here. This could be interesting. I don't even know how to start. I mean, I guess presumably there's going to be lots of incoming, but I still want to process the goods. I want the goods to come out as well. So the goods will have to disappear off out. So I'm guessing in from 3 sides, out from 1. I don't know, sound good? Just have like 4 stations, 1 pointing in each direction. As many platforms as I care to mention or put on. So it needs sand and chemicals. So I don't even know, where does all the sand and chemicals, they all come from sand banks, do they? Okay, interesting. Okay, so I'm going to need boats and planes. I'm guessing that's for passengers. So I'm going to need boats to get the sand to the shore. Or is it... no, it's always just going to be out of reach, isn't it? And I doubt I'll be able to to do this too much. Being on the pause is not helpful. I'd have to get out to like there. Okay, no, that will work. I mean, it's not pretty by any means, but it'll do. So yeah, let's just get going. Now, I'm not going to talk you through all of this like I would do my Let's Play ones. This could go on for some time. So this one, there's going to be an element of things sped up, maybe a voiceover. So wish me luck. Let's see how well I do. No, I don't need luck, but if you're going to wish me luck, I'll accept it. Thank you. It took me a little bit of a long time, this one, hence the speed. Because I had to do some sort of massive sessions split over, I think, 5 days to get this done. So yeah, definitely we're going to do this the sped up voiceover way. So as you can see here, I started off very small. I just wanted to get the ball rolling, and then I realised, oh no, all the competitors are turned on. So this is me very quickly just going through the settings to try and see if we can turn them off, because all they're going to do is just constantly get in the way. And not so much the competitors themselves, the pop-ups like you're seeing here with all of their nonsense about failing and they want to be bought out and they're in trouble. It's going to keep popping up, but they eventually go away, and it's not so much of a problem. And the only time I see them really is just when I'm trying to join things together and they've got cars in the way or whatever. So it's just in the early days. So here I'm still trying to work out how best to do this, and I've chosen a bit of a weird way because I didn't really think this through. Which you will soon see when I start to do one platform per train. That doesn't work out. I sort that out later. In fact, you'll see here, look, I'll start to realise I need a bigger station. I also realised that I'm not going to be able to do sort of one station for each direction because I've still got to get goods out. Something I didn't mention in the little bit of an intro. I also want to get the goods out of this glassworks as well, so I'm going to need a whole platform dedicated to the output, as well as the inputs. And also I didn't want them to sit there too long, so it's not that far away that I start to worry about the goods. So let's see what we're doing here. We are, oh yes, I found some more places slightly to the north. So I'm doing sort of all of the inner stuff at the beginning, and then I start to work my way out. So Sanham Heights there is sort of the northern place, the northern station, and everywhere from sort of the northern hemisphere of the map comes to there, and then the other one there, the Deport, whatever it is, one takes all of the southern ones. So here we are. I've realised that I need to start dealing with my goods. So I quickly built a station super close, 4 tracks, so I can just have 4 trains going back and forth super quickly. That's not, or shouldn't really be a problem. Obviously, as I get further away, it becomes harder and harder to do multiple tracks. As you can see here, it's starting to get a little bit tricky. I haven't quite yet realised that this isn't going to work. So there we go, I've expanded the station a bit more. There I'm getting more competitors coming in to irritate the hell out of me. But like I say, they go away eventually. Still doing lots of multi-tracks. I don't know why I thought that would be a good idea. I'd have to have literally hundreds of tracks, which would that would fail pretty miserably eventually. But you know, I do eventually realise that and change it up. Sorry if the sped up sounds are annoying when they're left turned on like this. I actually find them quite amusing, but that's just me. So here I'm using the main map to locate all the different industries. You can tell it to show me all the industries and just the industries, and then you can say show me all the sandbanks, all the ports, and that way I know that I don't miss any. And yes, this is around this point I start to realise I need to start thinking about doing some different types of tracks, because this is going to get painful. And then I settle, of course I need your one-way tracks. So yeah, very quickly establish a one-way system around here. I'm doing all of the signals manually here. I don't know why. I think I forgot about the automatic way, which is of course to click and drag. You can also hold down control and it will do signals for the entire track up to the next junction. So I'm not sure why I was doing it like that. Probably just not concentrating and being weird. So I realised, yes, I'm starting to output some serious goods now, so I added an extra train in. Eventually, of course, I end up with all 4. And again, I'm just I'm just trying to get too much into one place, and it's just getting a little bit busy here. This ends up being some massive horrific junction, which does actually work, believe it or not. I did leave it as it is. I didn't go back and tidy that up. I just left it because it seems to be fine. I do make a separate two-way section later on, but we'll get to that later. I'm just having a quick look around here. I'm renaming things just so that I, don't lose track of what I'm doing. Here we go, back to the map, which reset itself for some bizarre reason. Find some more ports to do. This one I decided I may as well just have some of the oil, the chemicals delivered from one to another, and then from that station taken all the way down. That way I only have one massive train rather than 2 smaller trains. Oh, here we go. So the electrified rail has kicked in, so I'm now electrifying all of my rail. I still keep using the diesels though, because they're cheap and efficient at the time. They're also the most reliable. I think the Henry or the Hendry is up at like 90 something %. So for me, it made complete sense to stick with those, stop them from breaking down every 5 seconds. I do put in some electric trains here and there just to help improve the reliability of them. So when I do roll them out to everything, they'll be absolutely fine. Yeah, adding even more to this ridiculous junction. Using it again, which you'll see I do for almost all of them. Boats. Some of them I'm using boats just for the sand to get to the land. Some of them I'm using them to get from one port across the water to another port. Just to try and make things a little more, not necessarily efficient. It's going to be less efficient, but it's just going to be easier in terms of trains. Yeah, turns out I couldn't do very fast bridges, so I had to do these sort of mounds halfway to make smaller sections. Oh, here we go, I'm starting to remember that you can click and drag on your signals. Not sure why I wasn't doing that before, or even using the control method to do the entire line. I was probably just not concentrating here and forgot all about it. So here we go, I've realised this now needs to be a two-way section because there's just nowhere near enough space. So I'll make a little one-way system and get everything linked in. I leave that one over there separate at first, but I do end up joining it in and just having it be sort of one in, one out, and then all trains can access all platforms. makes things a little bit more efficient, makes things just a little more smooth. Right, so what have we got here? Lots and lots and lots of chemicals knocking around. I decided to use a lot of boats here, as you can see, because there was a lot of ports and sandbanks really spread out in this one lake. I didn't want to have loads and loads and loads of stuff just sitting around, so I decided they should all just go to one station, and that station I think ends up getting massively overpopulated. I didn't do anything about it. I just left it. As long as the goods are getting to that central station, that's fine. Here I realised that I'm going to need another one-way system up here, because there's a whole bunch of stuff up in that top corner, and again I'm not going to be able to do lots of single rails, so I realise I need to make a one-way system for sort of each direction, and have all of the different stations join onto that, rather than having lots of separate rails. Made things a lot easier. Once that clicked in my head, things were a lot better. Now there we go, now I'm starting to use the control methods to do the entire line. Again, not sure why I wasn't doing it in the first place, but never mind. So you do weird stuff when you're not really concentrating and you're just playing the game. So I'm right at the very north here. I'm just trying to bring a whole bunch of stuff down to the bottom. And then joining everything onto those edges, so that one-way system. In fact, because I realised there's multiple ports up here, so I'll do lots of different tracks up here. Now that was a weird one, that one, because I think I make the station, but there's one up there, up the top there somewhere. Maybe it's this one here. This one. I think I don't make a train for it. I put the station down. I continue to make tracks. But then don't make a train for it. I just leave it. So much later on, I'm checking, making sure everything's working, I've got everything going. I've come across that port. Can't work out why, I know if it's not working properly. I made no train. Not sure why I made a port there. Never mind. I guess it was for something else I was thinking of, and then decided to change my mind and just left it. Here comes another line that goes straight down, which again I'll realise fairly soon. Oh yeah, this needs to be a one-way thing, doesn't it? So there ends up being multiple of those. One going to the sort of the northeast, one going to the northwest. Let's see, focusing on that station. I just every now and then I do have to check, make sure nothing's getting stuck, because I'm just constantly adding trains on, but I never really look to see if it's overwhelming the main station. It turns out it does start to overwhelm it a little bit, but it's not too much of an issue, because I've got all those platforms I'm just not using. So it's just a case of just give more access to the platforms, and things sort themselves out. The only issue is sometimes you get a train that gets lost, so you have to be careful of that. If you're making too many changes, you can get a train stuck somewhere, and you either have to delete it, which is a last case scenario, because somehow it got there, so it must be able to get off. So you have to just sort of direct it, make sure that it can get where it needs to go. Here we go. I realise, oh yeah, I need another one-way system here, so we'll expand this line, go around this place. Of course, when I'm doing a lot of these, I'm not thinking of two lines, I'm just thinking of one, so it doesn't always work properly. So yeah, you get some weird lines along here. Yeah, there we go. That's all signalled up. Looks good. Just had to make sure there's enough distance between each signal, otherwise trains end up taking up two. But again, not an issue. It's just something that looks a bit weird. See, I'm making a train for that one. Make a train for that one. Now this one is two trains going to the exact same place with different things, so it's just nice and easy to do them at the exact same time. In fact, I think I had them racing here, see who was going to make it. I can't remember which one we're on now. I went by too quickly. Continuing on up the north here, get some more ports and sandbanks connected. Again, lots and lots of track. So again, force them down into one-way system that goes under a couple of towns, around a couple of towns. Not sure why I decided to get under some and around some others, but I'm sure there are some reasons. Again, it's all whatever the hell I'm thinking at the time. There we go, and it joins up with this one, which I then convert to also a one-way system. Confuses the hell out of that train for a little while, but it works out in the end. In fact, I think that train gets lost eventually. There we go, some of the new diesels are coming in, which I start to take use of, make use of even. Again, more ships taking the sand to the stations, and then one sand train, one oil train, and they both work their way down. I actually stopped doing that after a while. I realised that the trains were too big anyway, so I ended up doing one train that has sort of, I don't know, 3/4 chemicals and 1/4 sand, which just made sense. So now heading up to the northwest. Oh, hello, we've got some stuck trains here. So I have to sort this lot out. And I realise that there is some space issues, so I have to get rid of that connection over there. And then I very quickly realise, no, I need to give them more platforms, because I've only got two platforms there for, I hate to think how many trains. And of course they're being added by the minute. I do have a bright idea at some point, which I'm sure we're getting close to. Continuing on with the northwest, make some little adjustments. Oh, look, here we go. There's a ton of stuff here. We've got a port that's in the middle of a lake, which doesn't help at all. So I have to deal with that separately. A couple of huge tunnels down to this one-way system, so that's nice and easy. All I've got to do is join it up with there, sort the signals out, and that's good to go all the way. So it makes it nice and easy then. I can just connect things up rather than having to do new lines that go all the way back. So yeah, a lot of boats around here. It's going to make a lot of high pitch squeaking around here, I think. Yes, this is when I realised, you know what, all of these tracks everywhere from the sort of the north should be able to access any platform up along here. So I make a massive junction and join every little sort of one-way track system I've got join up with all of the others. So now every train can access, one of the 8 platforms or so. I even think about using the one that's sort of stuck there in the middle, but I changed my mind because it would just look stupid. So now I haven't got to worry about that. There's more than enough platforms, so I can just focus on adding trains. I haven't got to keep coming back to check on it. While we're watching me build, I would like to remind you, of course, please subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And of course, if you like these videos, give me a like. Let me know if you want to see more of these type of, challenge, if that's what you want to call it. Challenge type videos. I can do more of this kind of things, If you have a thought on what you think I should have a go at, let me know. Just put in the comments down below. I'll try to read them all. And I'll make it happen in the future. I actually quite enjoyed doing this type of thing. It's something a little bit different, so it helps to break up the other normal Let's Play series that I do. The new one will be coming out shortly. I'll say shortly, it's like weeks away, because we're getting towards the end of the first one, I think. Not exactly sure when this one's going to come out yet. Right, where are we now? I've distracted myself. Alright, so here we go. I'm realising that some of the existing stuff should probably be redone, as well as some of the new ones. Back up to the north again, continue on with more. Look, we're right in the top corner now, the northwest corner. So pretty much done the whole sort of northern hemisphere almost. Not that far away. Yeah, there's not that much more up in that corner. Yeah, I'm also, as I'm doing these sort of one-way systems, I'm also trying to see where other industries might be that will need to join onto it. So I'm not just making it go in one direction. I'm actually looking to see, well, hold on, there's another one down there, I'll make it come down a bit lower, and that can join up to that when I get around to doing that one. So this is looking pretty good. Let's get some trains down. Let's get this all cleaned up. Oh, that's right. No, I did the wrong one. I did a port, except it wasn't a port. It was a fishing harbour, and it was just masquerading as a port. I realised that I'd done the wrong one. So that's what that was about. That's why I suddenly deleted a whole bunch of stuff. Me doing it wrong as usual. You saw me finally saving the game there after I hate to think how many hours of work, realising, oh, I should probably save this before my computer dies and I lose everything that I've done. Do save your games regularly. I think there is an autosave feature, so perhaps turn that on, because the last thing you need is, if you're working on something like this, to lose everything you've done and have to redo it again from memory. sure what that was about, waiting for boats and things to hurry up and get to where they need to go. I have been a bit cheeky on some of these sandbanks, as you saw there. You can, if they're close enough to the land, you can, usually with a little bit of tweaking, get a station close enough so you don't actually need a boat. The station will get the sand directly. That obviously makes things a lot quicker, easier and cheaper. So we're starting to work our way down now, down the south. Another one where I realised, oh yeah, here we go. There should be 2 tracks, not 1. So let's double it up. All the way along. And there it goes, joined up. Sort the signals out. There we go, wonderful. The one thing that I didn't think about was that new industries open all the time. So right at the end, just when I thought I'm done, I wasn't. There were some new ones that had grown. So that was something. And the reason I thought of that is because I just saw one of the spots where that happens. You know, I wasn't me going mad and missing it. It genuinely wasn't there. Almost got this set of tracks joined up. Now this is joining back up with maybe my first train. Can't remember. Yes, right down the bottom there. It's a steam train. Look. It's got itself a bit lost, but it sorted itself out in a minute. They will sort themselves out on their own. They just need a bit of time sometimes to get around things. It was me just checking, making sure everything was running as smoothly as possible. With all those trains making horrendous noise. I also came across a train there that got stuck because I'd missed one tiny piece of track when doing the electrical upgrade. So that was a bit frustrating trying to find that, because it can be quite hard sometimes. That's why you saw me just sort of randomly doing it everywhere to see if I find one. Now there goes that train getting lost I mentioned earlier. He eventually sorts himself out. Needs a little bit of help, but he gets there. So we're getting towards the southwest now. Oh, got that a bit wrong, didn't I? Not sure why I decided to allow that suspension bridge there. It's quite slow. It forces the trains to slow down. So I'm surprised I didn't change that. In fact, maybe I do. Can't remember. Because that will make them slow right down, but then again they've only just left the station, so they're probably not at full speed anyway, so I can't imagine it's going to cause that much of a problem. That's probably why I didn't bother. Right, we're now more in the middle a little bit here. Again, this is where I got a bit stuck and I couldn't have the tracks completely parallel, so I like to keep them parallel. It looks nice and neat, doesn't it? But sadly you can't have that all the time. So this is me converting things to one way, so we get multiple trains on there. Just a quick check, make sure everything's running nice and smoothly before continuing on. Now we're down in the south or west. Not completely down in the south, so I guess it's just west, but right, we're getting towards that sort of area. I got a lot of trains losing profit there. Because I'm not really fussed about money, I ignored them all until the end, just in case I, started some trains and hadn't changed the cargo type. Yeah, so they were going to pick up chemicals with oil tankers rather than chemical tankers, that kind of thing. Linking things together nicely, yeah. Things are starting to really make sense now, apart from where that train got stuck because he had two no entry signals at either end of him and was bouncing backwards and forwards. One thing I look back at now and realise, why didn't I do that, is what I should have made that bigger station on the southern side. But, hindsight's always 20/20, isn't it? Just doing a few little checks here just to make sure everything's working okay before continuing on adding in some more. They're right down in the corner now. So getting towards the end. We must be getting fairly close. No, that's a ridiculous length of tunnel you're full. It's just another one where I keep sending the one-way system on and then realise, oh wait, no, I don't need to because there's only one more station down there, so that can be a dead end. Getting sort of signals out. I do actually forget some signals around here at some point. Let's go back and sort them out. Again, doesn't cause any major issues, just slows things down a little bit. The trains do have a pretty good pathfinding system. Yeah, I think it was that signal right there I didn't do. But again, didn't really cause any problems. So, in fact, look, right at the top left hand corner there where that train just went, there's no signal. There we go, now I put it in, so it didn't cause a huge problem, but I did forget that one. That's me finally getting rid of all the diesels, because the diesels had now disappeared. We are in the sort of future time, so monorail was available, but I decided I'm not going to upgrade everything. It's too close to the end. I'll just stick with my electric rail trains for now, which made sense to me. No point in spending a whole bunch of money on new stuff. It would have been a lot of work. Got some slightly tricky sort of running along the edge of cliff track here. Again, this will become another one that will very quickly become apparent that I need 2 tracks on. And I see just how much is down in this bottom left hand corner. So here comes the 2 track. Put a tide in. Getting myself entirely confused. And then just sneaking this track down here. Yeah, had some issues with the signals. For some reason I managed to get them all facing the same direction. No idea how I managed to do that, but yeah, I did somehow. And again, continuing on, there was monorail look that just popped up there. That's what I got a bit cocky with some of this, and I didn't even check to see if the trains were actually working fine. They were leaving the station and heading off, so I can only assume they were getting to their destinations correctly. Because they wouldn't really go anywhere if they couldn't. They would just say can't find path, and then would just sort of bounce around and do nothing. So they seem to be alright. Let's see, I had to go over the water. That was a bit of a pain. There's another sandbank there sorted. Oh, here we go. I'm starting to do the oil and sands trains. A couple more ports to join up. Another oil, I keep saying oil, chemicals and sand. Same again, chemicals and sand. Oh, so I start to realise, oh wow, I've done almost all of them, there's only a few left. So start to put the last few in, get those sand boats going, so by the time I actually have a train there, there'll be some cargo for it to actually take away. And as you can see, I've made a dead end here, so we're on the last few now. Oh, I missed a port up the top there. So get that joined in. Checking the last few bits. Yeah, get that one joined in, and there's one more slightly to the north of that one. No, going to join in on the end of there. Perfect. That's chemicals only. Now it's just me going around checking to find any that I've missed, or in this case, ones that popped up since the beginning. There was a few here and there. This was one of them. Sandbank. This is when I realised that there is also a port that I mentioned earlier about the train that I hadn't made. I made the station but never made the train for it. So yeah, I'm using the industries window there to just to see if there's anywhere that hasn't had anything transported. That way I can tell if I've missed anything. That's an annoying noise, but here we go. So all the sand ones done. I've missed a couple of ports, and then oh, there's that one. I have a look. I wait a while to see if a train turns up. I have a look through the thing here to see if it's a train that maybe I didn't put the right carts on. No, turns out I just didn't make that train. Like an idiot, just totally forgot it. So. Yeah, now I just keep my eye on it, make sure everything is working, and it seems to be fine amongst that horrible noise. I realised that I need more trains for the cargo, because I'm getting behind. Look, there's 2,000 carts. I try to add on more, but I had one and realised, no, that's going to make it worse actually. So I had a second station on the east side, which will join up to the next closest town, which luckily was right there, and do the same again. Just 5 tracks, 5 goods trains, and between the 9 of them, they do well. In fact, I take away the extra train here and remove all the bits I added in, and there it is, same as before really. If you like this kind of stuff, let me know. Please give me a like. If you really like this stuff, please subscribe. In fact, if everybody who watches these videos subscribe, it would be amazing, because then I'll be over that 1,000 limit that I'm aiming for. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.